Hey everyone, it's me, Little Frenchie, and today we're going to make this card. I'm going to show you how to make it. A tree with a starry, snowy background, and I did two mock-ups, one with ornaments, one without. You can do ornaments or not do ornaments. I kind of like the one without it, but if you want to be more Christmassy, you can do the ornaments. So the first thing I do is find something round. I always have this cup top that I like to use. Now I'm going to go a little bit lower than this one because I actually want my tree to be actually even a little bit more higher than what's in the picture this time around. So I'm going to go pretty low down here, and I'm just going to trace a circle, and I'm going to try to, get it as centered as I can in here. And this is just a guideline to kind of help me know where I'm at. I'm really bad at drawing circles by hand. I always need some sort of template. So now I'm going to go in and do the tree part. And so, shouldn't be too difficult, but I usually like to start on the top with a small triangle that kind of flips out a little bit, like this. And as I go down, I like to make those little flippies bigger and bigger, like the branches. You see the flip, so like you're doing a triangle, but the edges kind of go out a little bit more and more. And then I'm going to go down here. And before I get to the bottom, I'm going to put like a snowdrift in down here. I'm going to do one more. I actually want it a little bit thicker and kind of come out on this end. And I actually want it even lower. And I'm going to actually have that. Then I'm going to go in and erase all these lines so they're not there when we paint. Just get rid of them because sometimes they'll show through. Just really depends. And I'm just going to kind of do that. I don't think I want a tree stump. I don't care that much about it. I'm going to go in. So now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to kind of draw a little star. Now, if you don't know how to make a star, I'm going to start and you're going to go across and down at an angle, back up, down again. And then this is where you can play with it. You can have it as reference. I'm not going to use it as a reference because I'm pretty good at painting stars without it, but that's for you in case you need it for reference. And now I'm going to go in and I have masking fluid. I have this. It is fantastic. Better than anything in the jars. I love this. It's fantastic. I love using it. And I always like, before I go on to my paper, I like to make sure that it's working on one of my, this is all my scraps that I keep and use. You can see I used it before right there. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to, just for under here, I'm just going to go in and put kind of like where the snow is going to be. So it'll be white. You could do some in the middle and have it go up a little bit. Wherever you feel like you want snow. I'm going to go over here. I used to live where it snowed a lot, not so much anymore. I honestly don't really miss it too much. It's kind of a pain to shovel. I'm going to go around the circle, so when I go and do my my starry night in the background, but it doesn't go over into the white, and I still get that perfect crisp circle. Now I like this so much, this masking pen. I actually went out and bought another one to keep one for my kit and one for home. And then I'm doing that because over here I'm going to put some starry night over here, and we'll just leave that open and then go from there. Now I think I want to make these lines a little bit bigger so that when I go in, when I'm done doing the green, I can add this like layer of blue in there to kind of give the snow a little bit more definition. I didn't do it on this one, or I did, and then I didn't do it, and then I did it, and so I felt like I wish I had more white to do more of the blue. So I'm gonna thicken it up a bit to be able to do that. I'm going to put some over here. And so before we paint on this, we just need to make sure that we make sure it's totally dry before we go. And so you want to make sure this is dry. So I'm going to pause this, let it dry, and then I'm going to come back and help you. Alright, I'm back, everyone, and this took relatively probably less than a minute to dry. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, so I paused the video because I didn't want you to have to like wait for it. So now I'm going to go in, and usually we like to do light to dark, so we're going to start with the green. Now you can make your own green, and that's blue and yellow in case you didn't know. Usually when you make a painting, it's better to make the greens from whatever other colors you're using. And so I'm going to come down here, and out of these two yellows, I tend to like, this is the new Gamboge, this is the Canson yellow, and I really like the new Gamboge yellow better for this painting. It's a little bit deeper hue, more of a warm yellow. And so what I'm going to do is take that yellow, and then I'm going to take my Ultramarine blue, and I'm going to put some water, and it's already got green in here, and it's probably not going to be perfect, but I'm going to make some more green for my Christmas tree. I'm going to go in here and take my new Gamboge, which is like my warm yellow, put a bunch in here. I'm going to try to get it as much as I can off my brush. Usually this is clean. You put yellow on one side and blue on the yellow, and then you'll have it. I'm going to take my French Ultramarine blue, which you can't see because it's up way in the corner over here on my palette, and just start adding it to where my yellow is, but I'm going to be careful not to touch my yellow so I don't get it into my blue. I'm just going to keep adding until I get the hue I want. You can see it kind of like a nice green. Looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush, and I'm just going to go in and kind of paint where the tree lines are. And I'm just going to go in and paint, and you could paint over your masking fluid once it's dry, and I'm just going to paint around it, over it, and I'm going to go in and just paint with the green. Once I do my base, I'm going to come in and probably do a little bit more. So like I'm going to make another green, maybe add some more blue to my existing green, and then go from there and like add it here and there to the tree, so it'll look won't be just so flat. You can see there's some more paint in some spots than others, and I'm leaving this open to be like the snowbank like I did in this one. I like the snowbank a little bit better. I'm going to go in, clean off my brush, and I'm going to get a smaller brush. So the brush that I was just using is a size 8 round, and I'm going to start using a size 4. And I'm going to grab some more French Ultramarine blue. Now you can take whatever blues and yellows you want, or you can also take a pre-existing one you have, and now I'm just going to kind of go like layer it like with the darker color, so it's just kind of here and there, and as it dries it'll look good. And if we don't like it, because it's going to dry a little bit lighter, we can go back in and add some more after it's dry. So I'm going to leave that for now, and then as I'm waiting for the dry, I'm going to take some more of my new Gamboge, and I'm taking my finer paintbrush, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to make my little stars. This one I felt like was a little bit too big, and this one I liked it because it was smaller. So like every time I do these paintings, I find something that I like about each of them and what I want to improve when I do my videos. Sometimes my videos don't turn out as good as some of the paintings I've done, but this is just to give you an idea on how to do it, and just so you know, practice makes perfect. Now I'm going to go in and get some water on my brush, but it still has, you can see, barely you can see, has a little bit yellow on there, and I'm just going to do a circle around the star, and then I'm going to push it out so make it look like it's glowing. Now, as I said before, if you wanted ornaments on here with the masking, I should have said this earlier, is put the masking fluid little bulbs in here of whatever you want. I honestly don't, I like the look of this without it, and I'm without the bulbs, but you can do whatever your preference is, with or without. Alright, and so I'm just doing the same yellow. I'm doing this like round, you could kind of see it in here, and when this dries I'm going to add a few lines for the star. If you feel like your star isn't pointy enough, go in there and point it out. There we go, I like it. It's a nice size. Now for the sky, I need to dry this so we can go in and do the starry sky. So I'm going to pause it. Well, let's see how fast we can do it with my dryer. I have all the stuff ready at hand. I'm just going to go in here and just dry it up real quick, because I don't want it to bleed into the blue that I'm going to be putting in there. Although with the blue we're going to be adding some more blacks in there to make it darker, but I just don't want it to bleed. And that's the other reason I have the white on there, is to help with that. Yep, so you see how quick this dries? Dries pretty quickly, less than a minute. This is what I use, got it from Joann's. If you're impatient like I am, I would suggest getting a heat tool. You can just use a regular cheap hair dryer. I mean, it'll work fine. Just make sure that you move your hair dryer around and not sit it on something, because if you set it too long, it can burn your paper or make your paints bubble. It's just not really fun. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to wet the sky, and then I'm going to drop my blue in there into the sky. So I'm just taking plain water, and this is where this is helpful. It's like a barrier, so I make sure that I keep my my round background in there. So I'm just gonna put French Ultramarine blue in there. Now this is fun with the sky. You can do more than like one color. You can do several blues. Blues don't look terrible when you blend more than one, and that's what I really like about blues. Red, that's a different story. I'll be very honest with you. You probably don't want to mix a bunch of different reds. It's kind of like fashion. You don't tend to wear. On this side I'm going to just play around and see what it is if I just put it straight on. You can do it either way, whatever you're more comfortable. Want to do, drop in or just straight up get paint. See, I feel like I put too much there, so then I just pull it up with my brush and then I push it over to wherever else I need it. It's kind of fabulous about watercolor doing that. Now if it bleeds a little bit, that's fine, because trees in real life can be blurry because you can't see the fine detail far away. I just want to make sure that I get all the blue in, and this is where the fun part comes in. Now I'm going to take my Cobalt Blue, which is a lighter than a French Ultramarine Blue, but I'm going to add it here and there. And I like how when it's still wet, how it pushes out. And I'm just going to set that in there, and you can let it, I'm going to just dry it real quick. I'm going to add a little bit over here, and then this is where you add the layering. I'm going to be layering blues on here to get that. So we're just going to layer, 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 layer. Now you can see the tree. It's like, it doesn't have enough depth for me. So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take the green that we made, and I'm just going to add another layer. And you can see how the blue and the yellow separate, which I kind of like. But do you see how I'm going to add here and there? And so that's the nice, watercolor's a lot about layering. And so I'm just going to add more green just to give it that that look. Like there's branches. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. Send these out as Christmas cards. Or just a, hey, happy season if you have friends who don't celebrate any holidays. I have a lot of friends who are not necessarily religious, so, but I still want to include them and make them feel like they're important. And so I like to send them stuff too, because they're equally as important as my friends who do celebrate. And I'm just adding like dots here and there. Now this is where, like, if you had done the ornaments, you can do that. Now it looks really dark in those spots, but I promise you it'll dry up. So I'm gonna take some more French Ultramarine Blue. You can see I've got like 3 blues on my palette, and I'm gonna take the French Ultramarine Blue, which is probably my base blue, but you do whatever you like. And I'm gonna go in here and just add more. It's kind of like how watercolor is. Just layer upon layer. I wanna make sure. Get it all in there. Have the sky over here. Now you can stop at any time with your sky. Like let's say you liked it how it is. Stop. And then just wait until we go in and put our snowflakes or stars in. Mine's gonna be snowflakes. It's gonna be on my tree. But you know, stop. Now here is my homemade black. I had some purple in there because I was doing another painting, but really I'm okay with mixing stuff up, and I don't like to waste and clear it out, so I'll just reuse it. But to make black, again, we're going to use brown. I like to use burnt umber. This is an oxide color that Daniel Smith. I don't like it as much. They have different like sort of levels, and there's literally iron in it, and so it's got this very red hue. With the burnt umber, it doesn't have that, and so I'm not in love. So, but they've been out of burnt umber for like 2 months now at my local store, and so that's why I bought it. But I'm gonna go in and put blue. You see, with the brown, and it turns into a nice dark, almost black color. So I'm gonna go in and just kind of do like the outer edges and push it in. So you can kind of see, and when it dries, it'll dry a little bit different than this, and it'll look a little bit darker. And I just want like the outside, like it's the night's creeping in on this one little tree. See how I got that? It's creeping in. Now I'm gonna take some of my blue and do my snow down here. I'm gonna just do the French Ultramarine Blue because I want this to still. And I'm just going to do a line. I could have done the masking fluid down here too, but honestly I think it's fine. Oh, maybe see? There, I pushed it with my finger. Usually you should do it with paper towel, but I'm not trying to win any awards over here. So I'm just kind of going around there, and then when we lift the masking fluid tape, it'll just show that. And now I'm going to use my heat gun and dry it. And this might take a minute because there's a lot of heavy water on here. But I can see with this blue from the brown, because it's more reddish, I can see how it makes this more reddish black. It's quite interesting. And usually if you have a hard time seeing something's dry, I'm assuming you're painting with lights on, and if you kind of look and see where the light is, you can see it reflect the water. Like here, I don't know if you can see, but the light shines on it, and I can see that it's still, and as you can see as I don't stay in one spot very long. I go around and around because I don't want to burn it. You can actually kind of smell it when it starts to burn, so it's weird for the smell. And so, I'm just going to go in here. You can see the heat gun, if you tape down your paper, it can make the tape lift, which if you're finding that your tape is not coming out like you had hoped, it's not, lifting off your paper, now, and just give it a little bit of a heat gun, lift it up and make the tape adhesive warmer. It's that one little spot right there that doesn't want to dry. That's fine. Now I'm going to go in and take my number 4, and I'm going to just get a little bit of the new Gamboge And I'm just going to put some lines in here. Make it, hand's a little bit unsteady. And I'm just going to put a few little lines in there to make it look like the star is really shining. It's super happy. It's like, hey, look at me, I'm shining. Alright, and then this is the fun part where you get to do the snow again, or you know, stars, whatever you're doing. So I have a white, which is not really a watercolor. If you're trying to win awards and you want it to be officially a watercolor, this is where you'd use your masking tape and put in all the dots. I don't have the patience for that, and I don't like the way it looks, like the way splatter looks. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get it kind of soupy, and then I'm going to go over here and move this out of the way. And you take your brush and you just tap. And you can, do you see when you tap? And you just go in here and you try to aim it where it needs to be. Now, if it doesn't get where you want it to be, and it kind of goes, you know, other places on your paper. That's the beauty of watercolor, is that you can lift it. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to go around. I've got brownies baking and my alarm's going off. I thought I'd be done with this video before the brownies were. I guess not. Just going to go in and kind of wipe the extra splatter all around, wherever I don't think it needs to be. And we're going to let that dry before we take off the, please, mask it down. So I'm going to pause it, dry it, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Alright, I hit the heat gun with it. I feel like there's not enough snow here, so I'm going to add a little bit more snow. And if you feel like, so I feel like my white isn't quite as bright as I want it to be, and it's probably because I got it a little bit too, I'm trying to do this so you can see. I'm going to do this backwards so you can see what I'm doing. Alright. I'm going to clean off my brush and just go in one more time. And then we're going to remove this and then just add a couple of, and as you can see, I got like a snow up on there. So I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of water to push it out. There we go. To dry it one more time, and then we're going to remove all of the masking fluid. So it's pretty much pretty good. You can see this, the heat gun lifted up the paper, off the paper. And so I don't know where I got this tape. I just randomly found it in a drawer. Must have bought it at some point in my life. It's artist tape. Probably expensive, who knows. You can still get your own tape at the dollar store, painter's tape. I would find that just as good. I'm just going to go in here and just kind of take all the masking fluid off. And then you can see how it keeps my lines nice and crisp around the outside. Just go in there, remove it. And you see I had the line over here and then I added a little extension because I wanted the snow, I wanted that to look like that. Like the snow is literally there. Just be gentle but firm when you're removing this. Make sure that you don't mess it up too much. You don't want to mess up your paper. Now, this is where you use the better quality paper, not the really cheap stuff, because it will mess up the cheaper paper. doing the masking fluid and the pulling and all of that. This is where a better quality. I just use not the best, but not the worst. And a lot of it's just because this is, you know, it's just a card I'm going to send out. It's not like that important. Alright, I'm going to take Phthalo Blue. You see, it's almost like a tealish blue. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of highlight underneath the snow. See how it's kind of, you see how I'm going to just highlight underneath here to make the snow look like it's almost glowing. And have a little under here. And then I usually kind of wet it down when I'm using Phthalo Blue because it is a highly pigmented paint. At least the one I have from Daniel Smith. It is just insanely pigmented. And it's just insane like how strong it can be on your paper when you take it straight from the palette instead of watering it down. Which is good when you want something darker, but if you want it to be light, it can be kind of like, oh, like down here I took way too much. And if you like that effect, that's great. So I'm just going in, doing my snow. Can you see? It makes the snow look like it's supposed to be there. And then I'm going to go in here. See the snow. I'm going to just kind of go on the bottom of it. And then there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed doing this painting. I hope you're getting your Christmas cards out and you're painting them. You're going to get them out before whenever the holidays are. This is a great holiday card. So it could be like even, you know, January or whenever, because it's just a snowy tree with a little star on top. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and any sort of critique or anything, just make sure that just leave a comment. I would rate that. And if you like my videos, please subscribe, because that helps me keep motivated and I'm doing paintings for you. So alright, happy painting everyone. See you later.